special guest today is James Walness. He's a PhD, Columbia University Political Science. He was a distinguished university professor in the Middle East when he experienced a life-threatening disease, which led to a spiritual transformation. He relinquished his academic career and began to share his newfound wisdom and inspiration by teaching groups how to weave timeless wisdom into modern life with intuitive tools in symbolic systems. With his magical blend of personal charisma, humor, and pragmatic enthusiasm, his prodigious explorer of consciousness engaged his audience in a transformative experience that inspires and enlightens. James is also a co-founder of Primal Arts Playhouse. It's located in Carmel Valley, California, and founder of Merrill West Publishing. James is a corporate shaman, truly a bridge between worlds. Well, Mr. Walness, tell me, how did you go from an expert in Middle Eastern studies to a New Age philosophy?
Well, that is pretty much of a stretch and a jump, isn't it? You know, I followed my intuition. And that's it. I was teaching in political science in the Middle East, and my little inner voice said, quit, leave, go east. And east meant India. And India got me into meditation as a result of a setback, actually getting hepatitis, and got into meditation as a result of that, and got on the spiritual path. And the spiritual path eventually led me to the tarot, which is what I do professionally.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I have a question for you. How is it that we're a lot of times unable to really tap into our own intuition?
Because we don't trust. We're all intuitive, absolutely all intuitive, men and women, but we sometimes just don't believe that little inner voice. Because we're so educated to believe in an outside authority, the book, somebody else, rather than ourselves. So the real key is hearing that little voice, feeling it, and trusting it, and following it.
Right, right. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how you came up with the idea of bringing intuition into the workplace?
Well, actually, the workplace is an intuitive place. I mean, yes, we might have a business plan and a year plan and so on, but within that, things happen, life happens, so many choices, so many decisions. I mean, how many decisions do you make during the day? A lot. And what are you going to look at a book or go by some formula? Can't do it. So we ultimately, and studies have shown that the higher you go up in business, like CEOs and so on, the more intuitive they are and simply have to be to make decisions.
Oh, that's fantastic. How can an everyday person in work or in home really grab hold and use this idea?
Well, yeah, and it's just about anything in life, and you're doing your life. You're doing your housework or your homework or your work, and you know, you just have a little feeling like, well, try this or do that. Something that's perhaps a little bit different. Because I'm a person who believes that if we do the same old thing the same old way, day after day, we get pretty bored and pretty dead. And the intuition is our greatest ally, the savior within us that wants to keep us alive and creative. So sometimes that little voice will say, well, instead of doing the dishes this way, or try it that way, or instead of doing the homework this way, try it that way. And again, it may sound a little weird or wacky. Intuition is not exactly a rational plan, go along with the program here. Right. So we do have to heed that because it is our best friend.
Right, and you know, sometimes I found that it's really hard. I get so stuck with, you know, should I, shouldn't I, is this the right thing to do? From a financial standpoint, is it the right thing from society standpoint? You know, I go through all that. Any tips for being able to have a little breakthrough and being able to use that intuition?
Well, I like what you say. If we have a big decision to make and you want to know, is it the right decision? And you have financial concerns and what does your partner have to say and, you know, all sorts of factors in it. What I do is I get out all those factors in making the decision and then I simply feel it out. Well, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about that? I don't ask, what should I do? Or what do I think? Intuition is a feeling way of thinking and a very quick way of thinking, which allows us to keep up with all the choices and demands and speed of our life.
I see. I see. And then the process eventually takes hold where we begin to trust.
Begin to trust it. We begin to trust it. And it is about these days being pretty quick in life, because life is speeding through. And we've never had so many choices and decisions in our life ever before in human history. So how can logic, the analytical, reasoning mind, keep up? It can't.
Yes.
So we simply have to follow it. And the brain neuroscience studies have shown that intuition is actually hardwired into our forebrain, into the emotional part of our forebrain, which our human genius really resides.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's quite a breakthrough. How do you decipher between the two, between intuition and maybe just guessing? How do you?
Intuitives are better guessers. I've heard that. And intuition, also another great definition of it. Intuition is what we know for sure, but not for certain.
That's great.
So, you know, nobody's right all the time. And even when we follow our intuition, it does not mean we're always going to be correct in every decision that we make. But it does indicate that it's our truth. When we follow our inner voice, we're in our power and our authority and our center. And then we're at least giving ourselves the best chance, the best opportunity to do the best we can in life and be correct. The key, though, is sometimes when we're not correct, but because we've made a decision pretty fast, the quicker we get through failure, the quicker we can get to success. And I believe that's true.
I see. How does it relate to a person using their gut feeling versus it being in their head?
Right. You mean the gut, literally in the gut.
Literally in the gut. Yeah. Just have this sinking feeling. Right. Oh, it's just not going to be a good day.
And you feel this kind of rumbling in your stomach and maybe a little nausea or a little nervousness. Right. And most of the time that is an indicator that that's probably not the right thing. However, sometimes you really want to do something and you are, and your stomach still is upset. That's because of anxiety and some fear. Now that does not mean no. It just means this might be something really important to do, and that's why you have the anxiety, because it might be something new and different, and I'm a little bit fearful about it. So the key on this intuitive path is really learning about your own sensations, about yourself. It is about exploring and experimenting and realizing that, you know, maybe my gut is all rumbling and all that, but I have an incredible peace, maybe in my head or in my heart. That may be where your intuitive voice really is.
Oh, I see.
So it's not always down here.
I see.
Like I do a lot of professional consultations, intuitive readings. I know over years of experience, I'm on the right, you know, the right course here when I feel incredible chill coming down the back of my neck. Now for somebody else that might be, oh no, don't go there. Again, it's knowing your signs, because we are all different.
Right. So it's really about us discovering who we are and what are our own signs.
Right. What is our true